Hey guys, Dorris here. I am a mental coach, right? And what that means is that I am my own first client, right? So I coach me more than anybody by far because I'm always coaching me. In other words, I'm always examining. I'm always Here's a good way to say it is I live in a perpetual state of self-inquiry. What that means is I'm always asking myself questions like, how can I use my brain more powerfully today than I ever have? I think that's just such a cool question. It's fun. It's exciting. It's a game that we all get to play if we're aware that it's available to us, right? Which is examining and then strengthening the way that we use our minds, which then has the like guaranteed outcome of making excellence easier. Like I'm happy to work my ass off at strengthening my ability to utilize my mind powerfully so that everything else that's good and desirable becomes significantly more effortless to create or manifest. Today I want to talk specifically about the unique state of confidence. So the question is, where does confidence come from? So let's start with this. Do this exercise with me if you would. Think of something in your life that you've either done in the past or that you do like nowadays that would qualify as like a performance, whether it's like giving presentations at work or doing public speaking, or if you're a musician or if you're an athlete. Just think of something that whether you've done it in the past, but think of a time, or just imagine this, whether it's a memory from the past or it's just fantasy right now. Imagine that you have a performance coming up in the very near future and you're worried about how it's going to go. Like you feel ill prepared perhaps, right? And go into that vision, literally in your mind's eye, if you can, which you can. See yourself struggling. Imagine you performing, right, and struggling. Like if you're giving a public talk, freezing, like totally losing your train of thought and going, oh, shit. Or if it's performing in a sport where you're just sucking it up, imagine that. And as you do that, notice the emotional state that immediately accompanies that particular choice of thought content. Okay, now let's change that up, and now let's fill your mind. So stop that completely and totally change channels, like completely change channels, just like as if you were on a TV. Totally change the channel. And now we're going to think about yourself in the same performance, but demolishing it. Like, I mean, zone, peak performance, crush level, flawless execution. Take a few moments and fill your mind with thoughts of you being in the zone, like best ever level performance and fuego. And as you're doing that, notice the very distinct emotional state that accompanies, or states that accompany that particular choice of thought content. Now let's get back to the question. Where does confidence come from? Well, you know the answer now. And sink this in, or let this sink in. Have it, choose to sync with this. Confidence comes from amazing, badass thinking, period. That's the deal. That's the ticket. And you have total control over your thinking, which means that you have complete and total access and instantaneous access. Because complete and total are pretty much synonymous, yeah? So you have total and instant access to infinite confidence. And you have that access at all times, always, no matter what's going on. Because all it is a product. Confidence is the product of thinking masterfully, about the future, whether it's immediate future or thinking about the distant future. But it's thinking about masterful execution of the future. That's where confidence comes from. It comes from thinking about yourself in badass ways. The end, right? Conversely, what's the flip side? Where does nervousness, anxiety, stress, where does that come from? It comes from catastrophic future thinking. So masterful future thinking, whether it's like 1 second away or 1 year away, confidence comes from masterful future thinking. Anxiety, nervousness comes from disastrous or catastrophic. It's just entertaining, failure in the future. Now, I watch a lot of golf. I've worked with a ton of golfers in my career, and professional and amateur alike. And when I'm watching golf, and I love to watch. I watch a lot of golf, and sometimes I hear a commentator make a comment. It happens quite often, and I love the commentators. I think commentating in golf right now is as good as it's ever been. Dudes are super cool. It's got to be a hard as hell job. So I'm not slamming the commentators. However, I'm slamming some of what they say sometimes because it's not so right when it comes to confidence. So they'll say stuff like this. They'll say, he just needs to start dropping some putts to get his confidence back. And I cringe. I get what they mean, but they're wrong. They're unintentionally promoting a false belief, which is actually at its core victim thinking. But really, what the bottom line here is that like it's that statement. I'll break it down. Promotes waiting, and I'm not a big fan of unnecessary waiting. Right? In fact, I don't like it at all. We've been conditioned to wait for so much shit that we don't need to wait for. Right? That's a huge part of mental toughness. Is stopping waiting. Stop putting distance, time in between you and your excellence by thinking that you need to see some good results, some positive, desirable outcomes in order to occupy certain states like confidence. I need to see putts go down before I can feel like a phenomenal putter? Bullshit. I can alter my state right now and just decide that I am the best putter on the planet. I can just go there. Now, I have the ability to do that. Even if I haven't made a putt in like a year, I still have the ability to alter my states however the hell I want. But we've been conditioned to believe you can't do it. If you've been sucking it, you've been making 3 jacks and 3 jiggles, 4 jiggles even. You've been making, you've been putting like a jack wagon for the last 2 months. Now, even if that's true statistically, that your putting has sucked for a while, that's the data. That does, you know what that means? That just means you got to improve your putting. And guess where that probably starts? And it ain't even with just the practice. It's in fact, I'll tell you what will accelerate a hell of a lot faster than waiting for results is starting here, is changing the mindset. Jack Nicklaus was amazing at this. And this, by the way, this blog post is not just for golfers. I'm just using that as an example. But Jack was great at selective attention and selective amnesia. So he could simultaneously forget, like delete bad performances, right? And then at the same time, though, go work his ass off at whatever he was sucking at. And then he'd be like, why are you working so hard on your putting this week, Jack? And he's like, because I want to be even better. And they'd be like, was it because you three putted twice? And he goes, I didn't 3-putt twice. And I'm like, well, yeah, you did. And he goes, you're mistaken. That's amazing. So where does confidence come from? It comes from you choosing to think of yourself in present tense language as a complete and total badass. That is the point, that I want you to take away. That's the takeaway that I want you to have from this blog post, is that you have access right now to total and complete confidence, and to speed up the creation of excellence. No matter how you've been performing lately, even if you haven't been performing excellently, well, then it's easy to think great, but still people don't automatically do that, because some people, when they're playing out of their minds, so to speak, when they're playing above what they're accustomed to, then they say, oh God, it's just a matter of time before the wheels fall off, and start saying stupid shit like that. So even when you are getting great results, it doesn't guarantee confidence. The only thing that guarantees confidence, only thing, is consistent, badass thinking. Okay? So give some thought to that. Practice today and starting now and moving forward, becoming really, really, really hyper-vigilantly conscious of the quality of your self-talk with respect to how you're performing in every discipline of your life, and see if you can upgrade the bejesus out of it with the singular intention of elevating your state, creating unprecedented levels of confidence, and see how then that translates into creating the outcomes that you so desire. Create miracles.